They finally stopped someone going the wrong way. See it all the time, nothing ever happens. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I am behind the wheel of the 2026 Lexus NX 450h Plus. That is the plug-in hybrid. This one is the luxury trim level with all-wheel drive. The NX plug-in hybrid has 3 different trim levels. There's premium, luxury, and the F Sport. So this one is right in the middle. And Lexus has sent me this NX 450h Plus to keep for an entire week so that I can give you guys the most thorough review possible. So let's jump right in, starting off with the ride quality. First, the suspension. So we have struts up in the front and double wishbone in the rear. Now there is one key thing missing with the suspension, and that's the adaptive variable suspension that you have to step up to the F Sport to get. I've driven lots of other Lexus models over the past year that did have the adaptive variable suspension, but I will tell you, even without it, this one still has a very smooth ride. Sure, it doesn't have the component that changes the different parameters of the suspension in real time, but this one can still hold its own. It handles bumps and potholes very well. The tires do a very good job at minimizing vibration. On this luxury trim level, we're riding on 20-inch wheels, and the size of the sidewall of the tire is 50, so that does provide a good amount of cushion. Now, as far as outside noise, right now it's a bit windy and you can probably hear some wind noise, but in terms of like outside noise from other vehicles and just the environment in general, the insulation does a good job at isolating all those noises to the point where you can hear very few, if any. Also, harmonic noise from the tires is pretty much non-existent. As you might know, the Lexus NX is based off of the Toyota RAV4, but it doesn't drive anything like the Toyota RAV4. Lexus is known for a very smooth ride, a very quiet cabin, so it does everything that the Toyota RAV4 does, just significantly better, and then some. So next, let's talk fuel economy and range. So I've been driving this a lot this week, and if you look at the gauge display, I'm not even down to a quarter of a tank. Now this is a plug-in hybrid, so you do get your dedicated electric range. On this one, you can have up to 37 miles of just pure electric range, and with a full tank of gas plus a full charge, this has a range of up to right around 520 miles. And by the way, when this car was dropped off to me, it didn't have any electric range on it. You can see where it says EV there on the gauge display. It's just nothing. So it was dropped off to me with no charge, and I didn't charge it either. Had a full tank of gas, but even without the plug-in component with the dedicated electric range, just the regular hybrid system has done such a good job that I've only used 1/8 of a tank in an entire week. It was mostly city driving with a little bit of highway mixed in and not really pushing it too hard, so we'll see by the end of this video, after putting this car really through its paces, see how well, the fuel economy is looking after. And in terms of fuel economy, with the gas and electric combined, this has the equivalent of a combined 84 miles per gallon and then 34 miles per gallon on just gas alone. And for an SUV, that is a very good number. So next, let's talk about the powertrain. So we have a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine paired with 3 different electric motors. So there's 2 motors mounted in the front, 1 motor mounted in the rear. It puts out a combined 304 horsepower, but only 169 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, I'll come back to that in a little bit. 0 to 60 in this thing is rated right at 6 seconds. But we do have an eCVT transmission. So we don't get the automatic that we do in like the NX 350 F Sport. And also you see we have these paddle shifters here, which really don't do anything because it's an eCVT. There are no gears to shift through. And I know a lot of automakers like to use eCVTs paired with hybrid systems, but in my personal opinion, I don't think CVTs belong anywhere near luxury vehicles. They are very fuel efficient and they do a good job at what they're intended to do, but luxury cars, I think, deserve a powertrain more refined. Certainly there are CVTs that are much better than others, but I really do believe an automatic or a dual clutch would be more appropriate. Alright, so we're gonna head into an acceleration test, and something I just want to point out before it goes away. We have now 1 mile back of EV range that was generated through the regenerative braking. So heading into the acceleration test, I'm gonna put it in sport mode. So we have 3 different drive modes, and we use this little dial. Down here to the left is eco. That's gonna be your most fuel efficient mode. Press the button, it's just normal. And then to the right is sport mode. So for the acceleration test, we are gonna have it in sport. All right, so when we come up here, we're gonna come to a complete stop. Not gonna brake torque it or anything, just gonna floor it, see what happens. We are going a little bit uphill, so that is something to keep in mind. All right, full stop, and let's go. I never make it through that green light. So you can hear how the eCVT, it does sound better than most CVTs. It doesn't have that drony, struggling, loud type sound, but it's pretty obvious it's there because as you're accelerating, you don't hear any gear changes. It's just one long, continuous sound coming from the engine. And what I will say about the power is that it's good, but it's not great. I much prefer the powertrain in the NX 350 F Sport because you get a lot more torque from that powertrain. This one only has 169 pound-feet of torque. Now it does have 304 horsepower, but don't let that number fool you. See, the main difference between torque and horsepower, if you're really unfamiliar, torque gets you going and horsepower keeps you going. Now in terms of that 0 to 60 off the line, not really a significant delay. There is a little bit, but that low-end torque is definitely missing. You don't feel that kind of lurch and launch coming right off the start. But we do have to remember there is a slightly different purpose for this model, and that is to be as fuel efficient as possible. If you're looking for something more fun and more powerful, then go 350 F Sport. So I do think it is good that Lexus makes different variations for different people, but I guess just me personally, the other one is the one I prefer. Now with this multiple motor setup, we also have the electronic all-wheel drive system that Lexus and Toyota use in a bunch of their models. It's the same all-wheel drive system that's in the RAV4 hybrid. In an electric all-wheel drive system, we don't have a traditional drive shaft going from the front to the rear. The rear wheels are actually powered independently from the front by that electric motor that is back in the rear. All right, so now we are taking this out on the highway. So 0 to 60 relies more on torque, but on the highway, that's where horsepower gets its chance to shine. So while already in motion, the pickup is significantly better. So passing people and getting going when you have to, there's still a little bit of a delay because this transmission does have its limitations, but it responds much quicker than when going from 0. So in terms of noise, the one thing that unfortunately is a bit loud is the wind noise. So there's plenty of wind noise coming from the tops of the windows, but it is a windy day. So on a day with more mild weather, won't be as loud. So out on the highway, you can have a little bit of fun in this, and I do mean a little bit. I mean, the 350F Sport is a lot more fun, but I do have to keep reminding myself how efficient and how good this hybrid system is. So I don't think I can bash it too much. So I've been pushing it, putting my foot down, and you can see that gas gauge. We're still not down to 3/4 of a tank yet. I figured by now we probably would be. So in terms of the drive out here on the highway, I guess my one criticism for Lexus would be is to try to maybe minimize some of that wind noise. But for what this powertrain is, a hybrid system with an eCVT, I'm satisfied with the way it performs, again, for what it is. So I'd say overall, performance on the highway is certainly adequate, and it's still a good experience overall. Alright, so now would be a good time to test out the adaptive cruise control system. So all the buttons for that are right here on the right side of the steering wheel. And it works also with the gauge display, but also the head-up display. So that is good so that you don't have to keep looking down. So first we have to make sure lane keep assist is turned on, or lane tracing assist rather. So you can see it there, it's on, and then we hit this button here to set adaptive cruise, and then the up and down switch to change the speed. And then this button here on the left is to change the distance between you and the car in front. And then, of course, you're always going to get the messages saying, put your hands on the wheel, because this is not meant to be a fully autonomous system. It's not supposed to be self-driving. It's supposed to be a driving assistant. But I got no hands on the wheel, no foot on the accelerator or the brake. I found that it always does a good job, the Lexus systems, with the accelerating and the braking. I noticed some systems do okay with the steering, others not so much. And this turn coming up right here to the right is my main test to see how it does, because sometimes it takes these turns too quickly. Great job. And the vehicle actually slowed down. Okay, I'm sorry. The car actually slowed down. I think that's called like curve speed management, maybe something like that. Not every vehicle has it, but yeah, a lot of vehicles that I test take that turn too quickly and end up completely just drifting out of the lane. So the lane tracing assist and also the speed management, work together very well in here. So this 2026 Lexus NX 450h Plus Luxury has an optional 17-speaker Mark Levinson audio system that can be yours for an additional $1,000. Yes, you heard that right. That audio system is $1,000. So you best believe we gonna take a listen. Let's talk about it. To me, I don't think all Mark Levinson audio systems are created equal. Some are really good, some not so much. Fortunately, this one is really good. And this one also has surround sound, which I typically don't like. But this system I actually do like. Now, I did listen to it both with surround sound on and off, and I do prefer it off, but I still think the surround sound function is pretty good in here. First, the clarity, okay? Everything sounds nice and crystal clear, especially the mid-range frequencies that tend to get a bit muddy. Also, the power is really good. This can go really loud without losing any tonality or without getting any weird distortion or compression. And if you listen to like very bassy music, everything hits really hard but like maintains control too. And there isn't really much rattling on the interior of the cabin either. So like it's really good, but it's also $1,020. Now I do realize for most people buying this vehicle, that extra $1,000 really isn't going to matter that much. And I do think the system sounds really good, but I don't have a basis of comparison because I haven't listened to, this same vehicle without the option added. Alright, so now we're out here at the back roads to test out the steering and the handling of the NX 450h Plus. Now I'm going to put it into sport mode because the steering, my goodness, it gets significantly tighter in sport mode. And especially in sport mode, it is super precise and responsive, and you just feel a lot more in control of the vehicle. None of that, steering with one finger nonsense. And since this is a very small SUV, very minimal body roll, because we have a pretty low center of gravity still. Really, I think it handles more like a sedan than an SUV. there's not a whole lot of force on that outside edge of the car when going into these turns. So that certainly gives a lot of confidence. Let's see, let Tesla go along. You know, if I just kind of whip it around, like, yeah, there's no feeling like you're gonna tip over, and nice and quick too. And the electronic all-wheel drive system, while it is untraditional, it still does a perfectly good job at keeping everything planted, and it's still a huge improvement over a front-wheel drive system. So I still have it in sport where it's nice and tight. Let's check the responsiveness. Nice and quick. And now that leads me to my last topic, which is braking. So let's see, I'm gonna speed up a little bit here, and then, yeah, really good stopping power, great bite, perfectly suitable brakes for a vehicle that can go this quick and one that weighs this much. The MSRP of this 2026 Lexus NX 450h Plus luxury all-wheel drive with all its options is $67,289. A huge thank you to Lexus for sending the NX for me to keep for an entire week so that I can give you guys the most thorough review possible. Please let me know your thoughts on this NX plug-in hybrid down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and be sure to follow @Optical Automotive on TikTok and Instagram, and check out the page on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.